Good morning. I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage. And I want to welcome you to today's presentation, which I've entitled, What Was It That Killed the Cat? I believe point number one, they say that curiosity is what killed the cat. But I think there's a lot of benefits to being curious. And in the case of a cat, they say they have 9 lives. So if curiosity killed a cat, I guess they get 8 opportunities before they get to the last life. But regardless, I think there was an excellent article in the Wall Street Journal recently about Steve Jobs, founder of Apple, co-founder of Apple Incorporated, where they described him as, and I quote, the most inquisitive human ever, end of quote. They went on to say that his curiosity in this article, that his curiosity was practiced with both intention and rigor. Which leads me to a question for you. Are you curious about your business? Are you curious in your business? Jobs often said that curiosity is what leads to learning. And I think you have to admit that he was right most of the time when you consider the great inventions they've done at Apple. But Steve Jobs said that curiosity leads to learning. And frankly, he felt at all times that that was more important. The curiosity leading to learning was far more significant, more important than being right. In other words, it was okay to make some mistakes as you went through this curiosity process and sought out new ideas, new concepts, new products, if you will, in his case. Entrepreneurs and other leaders often create some real value by challenging current belief systems. And I can tell you from my personal experience that challenging current belief systems of banks, of sometimes accountants, attorneys, things like that, coming up with new ideas isn't always readily met with any endearing terms. But the cool thing, the really positive thing is we've often been able to create some real value for clients by challenging these current belief systems and then making believers out of the bankers, for example, who didn't think a financial turnaround would work, but in reality, given some time, given some thought, giving a lot of effort and some planning, some positive planning, we were able to pull it off. And I've done that a number of times in the last 24 years, and I'm excited for those people that we've helped. It's great that it worked, but more significantly, it helped these people with their business. And so it's a great example of creating real value by simply challenging the current belief systems. My business coach, Dan Sullivan of the Strategic Coach organization in Toronto and Chicago, says the following, and I quote, "Opportunities for entrepreneurial innovation and profit are increasingly found in the failures of bureaucracy," end of quote. Let me read that to you one more time because I think it's very significant. Dan said, and I quote, "Opportunities for entrepreneurial innovation and profits are increasingly found in the failures of bureaucracy," end of quote. In other words, it's looking at the failures of bureaucracy and what's not happening. And there's a lot of places we can look in life today, government, some business operations, personnel relationships. The things aren't working, and so we need to challenge them in those and overcome those failures by creating a better outcome, creating real value, whether it's for business, government, personal, whatever. It's still a positive thing to add. Let me cite a great example of this. The 3M Corporation insists that I believe it's 15% of every employee's time needs to be spent on developing new ideas. They don't tell them what the new ideas are. They say, go out and build some new products. One of the greatest failures, quote unquote failures, that they've ever had at 3M was the Post-it note. They were trying to develop something that was very strong adhesive, and it kept coming out weaker, but one of their employees said, hey, we can use this. I think he was marking pages in a church hymnal initially. But the cool thing is, I think how many dollars we spend, and I'm sure there are companies a lot bigger than us that spend even more, on Post-it notes. We were just discussing that earlier today. We use Post-it notes every day in our business and our personal life too. We're writing notes, reminding ourselves to pick something up, get this, do this, 3 things we need to get done before 9:30 this morning, all those kind of things. Post-its, which were initially considered a failure, have just been a huge innovation on the part of the 3M Corporation. And I don't know where I'd be without them. I guess I'd be writing on paper and other papers instead. Number 2 point that I want to emphasize is that this is not a time to play scared. We're all facing increasing challenges on the cost front due to inflation and other variables throughout the world. And I'm not blaming anybody in particular, but it's reality that costs are going up. We need to be more cost conscious. We need to protect ourselves to guard the bottom line in our businesses. And so this is not a time to play scared. It's a time to be bold. Act with strong curiosity. Point number 3, let's talk about the cost of experimentation. I think the important thing that Steve Jobs pointed out, that the benefits of being curious and researching, studying things is far greater than the cost of this experimentation. And he also pointed out that curious employees have an impact, a positive impact I might add, on their coworkers. Because if I see you as a coworker developing a new idea, and I go, wow, that's great. But what if we did this too, Joe? What if we did this, Sandy? And we work in a collaborative effort, we can get even bigger things done. And point number 4, I will ask you this. Why not try it and position yourself to succeed? Because I want to point out, I'm not sure who this quote came from, so I'm just going to say it's an anonymous quote, but I've seen it numerous times. And that is, and I quote, if you don't have a plan for your business and your life, someone else will. End of quote. Now that may be your banker, that may be the government, that may be some other partner, it might be an employer, whatever. But if you don't have a plan for your life and for your business, then we will be faced with the possibility that someone else will. So I suggest, let's take your business to the next level. Again, I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage, and I want to thank you for listening today. Thank you.